What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Ascendant.com stream today. We've got a very special appearance today from our lead designer, Benny. Today's conversation, we're going to quickly, and I mean quickly, run through just some really cool things that are coming to Ascendant. First things first, let's do some introductions. I want to talk about Man of the Hour here. Benjamin. His name's not Benjamin, it's just Benny. Give us a quick introduction. You've met us here before for the lore discussion, but I realized that we didn't really even get to know who you are. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your role here at PlayFusion, and I guess what your favorite games are that you've played throughout your lifetime. I don't know. Let's start with that.
Well, you didn't prepare for this, so
Had to throw your
I'm Benny.
curveball.
Yeah, Benny, not Benjamin. I am one of the two lead designers, also one of the two designers on the project. What do I do? Obviously a lot of designing stuff. What do I do? I do a lot of designing stuff, but a lot of things as well. We're quite a small team, so most number things, back-end system stuff, I tend to design. I also do a lot of implementation dev work as well. QA when it needs to be done, writing when it needs to be done. So yes, whatever needs to be done really. But yeah,
jack of all trades.
title-wise, yeah, designer.
Yeah. Benny is quite literally everywhere. If I have a question about anything Ascendant related, like he's my go-to guy because he has all my go-to answers. So I really appreciate that, Benny. You're literally always on top of everything. So everyone get used to hearing a little bit more from Benny starting now, like in the future. At least, if anything happens to be a question for the game, come to me and then I'll go ask Benny because he'll more than likely have the answer. As far as your history in game development though too, like briefly show it, like tell us what you've done in the past, like what have you worked on?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably like a lot of people in the industry, I've just been making games since I was a kid, so pre-professional. I loved making board games and role-playing games when I was like, I don't know, 3 to 8, 9, 10. Then started making digital things after that. I have worked on a lot of MMO stuff in the past. So worked on RuneScape about 17 years ago for a few years, and then a few other projects at Jagex. Been making card games and third-person shooters and role-playing games, etc. So been all over the place really. But yeah, I have about what is it now, 18 years I guess in the industry, and 17 of those have been with a lot of people we still work with now at PlayFusion. So
yeah, we were talking about that with Mark the other week, and how a lot of the old Jagex crew might be around here at PlayFusion, but have been around on that old RuneScape development time for quite some while. You look 18 years young, Benny. I'll call it that for you. You're a veteran, but you're looking
not young anymore.
You're looking young. Let's go with that. And
Liar.
most of y'all who are joining us and are new, this is just a little brief series, a little glimpse into things that are coming with Ascendant. The other week we just briefly talked about what's coming with Ascendant and early access, what to expect. And today's discussion is around a lot of our matchmaking systems. So matchmaking, right? It's that button we press play on for any multiplayer game, and how does that turn into a fun experience long term, maybe quick as well if you're looking for just a quick bite in the middle of a break or something like that. There's a lot of continuity between your normal place that you want to just chill relaxing out with friends to ranked as well. And how does the overall security and the cohesiveness of that security tie into things like anti-cheat and a couple of other things that we're going to briefly talk about when it comes to seasonality. So ready to get started, Benny?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, awesome. So I have a really awesome PowerPoint presentation to share with everybody. We love PowerPoints over here. I feel like that's all I've been making to show everybody these days. We've got a game, I promise, but ranked seasons. Tell us a little bit more how ranked seasons are going to operate once we launch Ascendant.
Right. There's not too many overly shocking things to go with it. There will be, yes, there will be ranked seasons. The current plan is that they will last 3 months each. Exactly what we do with it. We're obviously going to run a few seasons, see how it goes. But the idea is 3 months each. The ranked stuff is, as you might expect, the ladder is divided into different leagues. Effectively, you have your bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, masters. The sort of standard by now, really. The way it effectively works is that you have a point rating, a ranked rating that will go up or down with games played. Every game you play, you effectively stake a bit of that rating, and the lower your rank is, the less you stake, nothing at the low end, and the better you do objective-wise in the match, the more rating you earn. And you basically just go up and down across the season, I imagine. Hopefully more up. And at the end of the season, you will collect various rewards based on how you did in the season. These are pure cosmetics, aren't unique gameplay things to be gained from ranked. So there's no like requirement that you have to play. You're gonna miss out on power things. There will be cosmetics that are unique for every season, so you can earn decals to put on your clothing items, your weapons, etc. You will earn icons to put on your banner, and if you get really high up, you will also be able to earn a special title for that season. The decals and banners you earn also go up in value the higher you place in the season, and that is also done in a way where you can't lose what you've gained so far in a ranked season. So if you go to say diamond and then drop down to platinum, it doesn't matter, you still get the rewards from diamond. So there's no reason to sort of just sit in camp at a particular tier. At the end of it, we just look at what was your highest standing throughout, and we'll base it on that.
Awesome. And as far as like these rewards, you talked about them kind of getting better as you go with it. We have a unique reward for like reaching a specific rank. Do we want to talk about that now, or is that something that we still want to like hold off a little bit, just kind of tease people with?
I mean, there are some the things I've listed here. So the decals, the banners, or the banner pieces rather that you earn from ranked are unique to that season, and they are also unique to the league you get into. So if you can sort of show off that I was gold in season 1 or whatever, there will be effectively unique cosmetics to prove that or to show that off.
And just
Um,
to quickly
and
confirm too,
yeah,
you mentioned like that league tier, so we could share that. We're gonna start with like a bronze, silver, gold, diamond type of system, correct?
yes. Yeah, so there are effectively 6 leagues. There's 5 leagues that are capped in points. So and they have subdivisions within them, subdivisions and brackets within the leagues. But you have your bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond that you progress through, and at the top of that, if you reach out of diamond, you get into the master league, and that is effectively uncapped. You can just keep climbing forever for the sake of the leaderboards. And yeah, the rewards you get, so the decals, banners, and also the title are based on how high have you been in the season. There's also some placement going on. So at the very start, your first few matches weigh heavier than the rest. So just to sort of put you in where we think you belong a bit quicker. So early matches in the season will be faster. We do intend for you to be able to climb relatively quickly. One of the reasons we have a 3-month season is that we don't want it to be you have to play 4 hours a day every single day to be able to have time to get to the higher ranks. We want people to have time to do so at their own pace, effectively.
All right, awesome.
Uh,
So as far as like the overall experience whenever you jump into a ranked match, it should feel not like necessarily a grind, but something that feels authentic to the experience of your time.
yeah,
So that
the yeah the there are a few things we've touched on, like in old streams, in regards some questions that come up that are addressed on this slide, which is also like what constitutes doing well in ranked. So I just want to make that clear that it is entirely objective based. The way that you improve your ranking is to extract biocores. The more biocores you secure, the better. We do not look at your like just combat performance. That has been a topic of conversation with quite a few people in the past, but just to make that clear now, we might change things obviously, but that is the idea right now. And the reason for that is that we don't want to create sort of divided teams where someone feels that they're better off just going way to farm kills instead of focusing on objectives. Someone else wants to do objective and so on. So we want the team to have a cohesive goal that get biocore. That is the ultimate thing. Whether you die 5 times doing so doesn't matter. The objective is the biocore.
Yeah, when it comes
Um,
to grabbing the biocore in performance, I think a lot of people would ask, so would I get more rewards if I win and perform at the same time?
The way you get more rewards is by getting more biocores. So the more biocores you get in the game, the more rank you will gain. There is no particular incentive to just farm people for kills. This is also going to be touching a little bit, just tangent here on the matchmaking systems. This is also a thing that the matchmaking itself is based around. So I'm going to caveat out of ranked very briefly, just on this subtopic. But we do have our own skill-based matchmaking system that is in the game. We are not just using ELO or anything like that. We have made our own system because we want to function for teams. We want to be able to scale quite differently based on various factors like how long you played for. We want to be able to place new players quickly and evaluate teams versus individual performances and so on. So we made our own system to cope with that. The matchmaking system is also quite different when it comes to casual matches versus ranked matches. Casual matches, as in where you don't put any ranked points at stake, focus more on the flip side of what we just talked about in ranked. For the casual matchmaking, it is more centric around how well you do in combat, like how much of a killer are you effectively, or how little of one you are. Whereas ranked matchmaking is based a lot more around how well you perform at objectives, because obviously that's what matters for increasing your rank. So, in the same vein, if you have a game where you didn't get many biocores, but you did really well in combat, we don't punish you for that, so to speak, when it comes to ranked matchmaking. We don't make you shoot up in matchmaking just because you seem like a good player if you're not getting objectives. So as you claim objectives, your rank matchmaking will also increase, and that is also, it's not entirely based on a hidden MMR, just to be clear. It is a bit of a mix of both, to be honest. There is so MMR that pulls you around, but is anchored by where you sit in your rating. So if you are currently down in silver and bronze, then your rating will be influenced by that as well in terms of who you face in the games. And on the flip side, ranked, just to dip back into the casual for a moment, is that the casual matchmaking is based a lot more around how well you perform in combat. We know that not every group of people will just always go for objectives. They want to see how many kills they can get and so on. And obviously, when it comes to people having a good or bad time, comes down a lot to whether you get slaughtered or not. So the casual games are focused more around the combat performance, and ranked a lot more around the objective of the game itself.
Awesome. And do the objectives necessarily change at all? Is there any gameplay differences between a casual match and a ranked match? So in this example, there might be a capture the flag that you can play in a rotational or any other game, right? That capture the flag might be just pretty casual, pretty chill. But when it comes to rank, they might do a couple of things that change how the round is played out. Is there any differences behind that, or is it all just going to be the same?
There is, well, the short answer is sort of no, but there is a big caveat to ranked that I probably exists somewhere. I haven't really seen it. I can't think of many games I've seen at least. Is that a thing that always happens with ranked games? Sorry, this is not really answering your question, but it is mainly because the answer is no, but also because there are some differences that people wouldn't expect. So one thing that we often see in even like games with millions of players, when it comes to like high-end matchmaking in ranked and so on, one of the things we don't want to have as an off-putting factor for playing ranked is incredibly long queue times. So one of the things we're doing to avoid that, we just take our user base and split it into two chunks, one that play ranked and one that don't. You might see where this is going. Is that when we matchmake people, we do try to matchmake people within their bucket, so to speak. So ranked people will play against other ranked people around the same rating. Casual players will play around other casual players around the same rating. However, we will have it so that the ranked players can occasionally be in games with casual players, which sounds a bit insane, but it is something we want to try out because we'd rather that, at least on paper, than really long queue times. Especially when it comes to people who start like getting into the minutes. Again, this won't matter at all for people in the more populated part of the ladder. They will just face other ranked players. But worst case scenario, we do mix the queues. When that happens, we are also dialing back a little bit on how much is at stake and how much you earn, because obviously if there are, say, 3 ranked teams and 1 casual team in the same game, we're not entirely sure what the not the objective of the casual team is, but what their sort of just preferred playstyle is. They might not take it very seriously, whatever. They might. We don't want it to pollute the ranked experience. So it's also slightly less at stake, but slightly less to win on the flip side as well. So if that turns out badly for you, you will lose less for it. If it turns out well, because you can just convince casual players not to bother or whatever, or then there's also a bit less to win. Just a heads
Yeah.
up. But we're doing that to avoid this sort of horror stories of 50-minute queue times at the high end of ladders. So,
Mhm. No,
but no,
that's good. Yeah.
in regards to how the matches play out, they are standard games in all out terms. There are still events. There are still the same sort of shop distributions. You can use the custom guns in the same way, etc. So it's the same game in both systems.
And that's
There
great.
might
Like it doesn't you don't have to like rebuild how to play the game necessarily. It's significantly more strategic once you go into a ranked match because obviously the rewards are what matter the most at the end of the match.
yeah.
Awesome. And you talk about polluting, the matchmaking system in there as well. So in the slide I had earlier, we did have a pretty big note in there actually, and that you can now actually play ranked with any member of a specific rank. So if like I'm diamond and you're bronze, Benny, which is probably going to be true, we could still queue together and match, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we don't want to put any. Again, like we don't want to put barriers in front of people getting to ranked. We think ranked is a. I don't want to say it's a better way to play the game. I mean, play the game the way you want to play it. But there is more of a like just an exciting journey. You can see your personal progression better through ranked, and obviously we know that a lot of people are always hesitant about going into ranked gameplay. It can be scary is the wrong word perhaps, but you have certain pressures on you that you don't have in other games. You might be more afraid of messing up and things like that. So that's why we have a system where uh, earlier in your rank journey there's a lot less to lose. There's a lot to gain, nothing to lose really. And those are why we don't want to create long queue times because that's another reason to I don't want to queue for longer. So those are things to do for that, and also just playing with friends, like you said. We don't want to put arbitrary limits and hurdles in front of playing ranked matches. So just because your friend is lower rated than you doesn't mean you don't want to play with them, or doesn't even mean that they sort of belong there. They might have not started yet. So we don't want to put barriers between people to play together. So you can play with your friends regardless of what different ratings you might be. The matchmaking will skew slightly upwards. We don't want to create sort of a carry meta where you just pick a good friend and let them steamroll the rest of the match. So the ratings across the team to sort of create the team's rating and how we matchmake you as a team will be skewed slightly towards the high end of whoever's in your group.
Awesome. And I think that's really great, looking at it at a philosophical level, right? It's, ranked is ranked, for the obvious reasons that you want to go in there to, reap the rewards. But at the same time, I like the social experience first for ranked as well. The barrier of entry should be limited to, just because your friend plays better than you doesn't mean you can't play with them in that same setting. I love that, social feature wise, we're a foot ahead of that. Speaking of a foot ahead as well, some questions that might pop up is, well, if I can now just be bronze tier and I have a friend who's diamond, what about smurfing? What does that lead to? So just to quickly address this, Ascendant is not a free to play game. It is a premium package whenever you purchase it later this year. No monetary data that I can share right now. Nothing that I can share how much it's going to cost. But smurfing should not hopefully be an issue unless you got someone who's really dedicated to spending money just to smurf.
And also, that's also a reason why we have our own matchmaking system. Just to sort of dive into that quickly. The matchmaking system we've designed is pretty good at reacting quickly, and that's also why your current standing on the ranked ladder isn't the be all end all. Again, we're not doing a completely hidden MMR. This is how we place you. It is a mix of the two. So while you're sitting lower down, we're matchmaking you lower down as well. However, the matchmaking system is that's why we have placement games. So we're trying to find a pretty good spot on the ladder for you quickly where you can grow from. And B, the matchmaking itself has been built to be able to react quickly. we're hoping that smurfing will be, I mean, a lot, say, harder to do, I guess. But I mean, you can smurf, you can create a new account and play against other new players, but the system responds very quickly to how good you actually are. The back end of it's not just a case of we're not doing elo. We're not doing a sort of slow growth of a long time. We're not comparing you one-on-one. We are comparing you against everyone else in the match. How did you perform as an individual compared to all other people in this game? And if we see that you are miles out of everyone, we know that you don't belong here, and the system can react pretty quickly to that. Likewise, if you've been away for a while and you come back to the game and you're no longer as good as you used to be, on the flip side, the system also reacts to that. If it turns out that actually you're a lot worse than everyone you're playing with, you probably shouldn't be up here. So in that sense, you can obviously also drop a bit faster in the MMR. But because we try to position you quickly, if you want to smurf for some reason, you're going to be a bit of a yo-yo.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to name drop, but there is a hyper specific game where that's happened to me exclusively, where I placed really high, and then like every other season after that, that's all I could play against, and I was not doing super good against it. Well,
Yeah.
that's about I think about what we could wrap up with ranked. Anything else that we might have missed, Benny, that you want to touch up on before we move on to the next subject?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I
All right,
mean, there might be
cool.
questions, but yeah, nothing off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think we can address those questions maybe off stream somewhere a little bit, like in our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, join our Discord. No, I think we could move on to our next subject here. And the next one that we're going to be talking about very briefly is actually going to be our custom games. So customs are always big with any kind of arena shooter, or honestly any kind of shooter to begin with. So many people want to be able to invite their friends to do some like 1v1 stuff, despite the fact that we've got a 1v1 lobby arena in our game right now, but custom games mean a lot different, depending on what kind of experience you're trying to get. So as far as custom games, Benny, let's just quickly talk about this. What do we want to do with custom games?
Yep. So we just to be clear, we won't have it straight when early access. It won't be there from the get-go, but we are planning to make it. We're making sure we're not handicapping ourselves in order to be able to make it. But yeah, so custom games, sort of a bit what it sounds like, but with a lot of injected flexibility. So the idea with custom games is that to kick off with, people can create their own matches. I mean, the obvious thing. They can invite who they want to play with and against, come in as a pre-made match, and play against your friends or whatever you might want to do. We also want to make sure to have spectator support within custom games so that people don't have to play in order to be able to spectate. So, for example, if you want to run a tournament, you can shoutcast it if you want to. You can just be the eye in the sky and follow people around and commentate on the match. You don't need to be a player to participate.
That's something I'm really looking forward to myself. Been practicing a little bit of my shoutcasting skills here. Would love to absolutely throw together a community event. Maybe throw in like some really cool prizes there, and tell everybody how good or bad they are live here.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that it is sort of community friendly in that sense, and also the rule set itself. We want to be flexible. Now, this is probably something that even when it comes out, it's not going to be all bells and whistles that we want down the line. We're probably going to be expanding on it as time comes. But the idea is that it doesn't have to be 4 teams of 3. If you want to play 2 teams of 5, go for it. If you want to play 4 teams of 1, go for it. We want to leave it up to you, or hell, 10 teams of 1. We want to leave it up to the community to be able to sort of form their own games. And we've already built the game to cope with all these things. Like the game, obviously the default rules it is 4 teams of 3 because that's how we feel the game plays the best. However, we have built it so that the game director that shapes how a match is constructed effectively takes all the stuff into account. How many teams are there? How many players on the teams? How much stuff needs to be available? How many barcodes should there be? And it can adjust to all that stuff. So that's also something we want to expose to players and let them mess around with when time comes. Beyond that, there are obviously more rule sets on top of that. We want people to be able to use custom games to practice things. Maybe be able to turn on and off certain events, guarantee certain events, other modifiers, where barcodes might be, etc. So we want to put in a lot of flexibility into it. Now, again, all that wouldn't drop in the same go. It's probably something we build on with time. We don't want to hold back on the feature forever just because it doesn't have everything yet. And obviously, people have feedback and requests on what they want to see in there. On the dual arena note, something else we again not yet, but will be coming at some point. Something we want to do there in sort of just the casual playing with stranger sense is not just one-on-ones in the dual arena. Have like little tournaments, big free for all instead of one-on-one, 3v3s. Just the ability to just scale up into different sort of deathmatch rule sets out there as well.
That's pretty cool. For those unfamiliar who might be new here, we have a little arena inside of the social lobby that most of the game you'll be doing all of your like customization and stuff like that. A lot of social features are rich in there. You can actually challenge somebody to a quick 1v1 without having to load up an entirely new menu or anything like that. It's super quick, super efficient. That's some big news right there. Really looking forward to doing a 3v1 against our other community manager Connie, seeing how she fares against that.
Yeah, again, that also won't be there for early access right away. Those are just things that we A, want to expand on, and B, have made sure to build the infrastructure around so we can expand on it.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that wraps up what we have with custom games here. And our last slide, or last technical slide for the overall stream here, talking about matchmaking. And this is a really big one, a very sensitive one, as a matter of fact. And that's going to be our anti-cheat. So anti-cheat, we already know exactly what this means. As far as driving a cohesive experience playing against hopefully not hackers. What are some things that we can, tell our players right now that we care about whenever it comes to anti-cheat and Ascendant?
Yeah, I mean, so there are a lot of things we can't say here, unfortunately. But what we do want to say is that we're obviously aware of just the impact that cheaters can have on these kind of games. And the kind of things that a game that is a shooter needs to do to make the game feel reactive, responsive, things that the client needs to be able to run in order for the game to feel good, and the risks that come with that. We are very well aware of them. Obviously, like I said, we've worked in the MMO space for a long time. Plenty of cheaters there. So we are very well aware of the arms race that is dealing with cheaters, and we want to have some stuff up front, obviously. We are, as people might have seen if they participate in early betas, is that we do use easy anti-cheat. However, we know that's not enough. So on top of that, we also do have in-house developed verification systems, anti-cheat systems that can't really say too much about. Just want to make people aware that we do take it very seriously, and we are not just installing easy anti-cheat and calling it a day. We are developing our own stuff as well to help combat it.
Yeah.
And we'll keep doing so, obviously, with time.
And as I'm pretty sure most people watching the stream who play video games have experienced a hacker, is that there is it's obviously painfully aware that we live in a society where things aren't always 100% perfect, right? But this is something that is at the top of everyone's minds here at the studio as well, and it's something that as Betty put, something that we're taking care of, as best as we can, make sure that your experience and your time are valued above all else, and not letting anybody else ruin that for you. So not only is our anti-cheat system going to be in place, but we also, again, are not a free-to-play game, so that should hopefully steer back a couple of people who are, trying to abuse the system or the model that we have in place to ensure that they're not just getting free passes to be annoying. Alrighty. So that just about wraps up everything for matchmaking. This is supposed to be a really, really short stream today. We have so much to share whenever it comes to other key areas around Ascendant. But right now, this is where we're going to kind of slow down on discussing what matchmaking has on the impact of Ascendant and what you could be looking forward to. So in terms of ranked, will we at least be seeing that whenever it comes to early access, Benny?
I hope so. It's not finished yet. So we'll see when it's ready. But the goal is to have it ready for then, yes. But it's not ready yet. Just all cards on the table.
Hey,
So
we're not at early access yet, man. We're getting there.
no. So we hope that will be, if not right on time, then shortly after. I mean, hoping right on time, but
For sure.
but I'm not gonna lie and say it's all ready and waiting because it's not yet. It's not finished.
We appreciate everyone's patience on us on there. Y'all are looking forward to just the main game to be launched first. So whether rank's going to be there, at least you'll have the game at early access, right?
Yeah.
We could just quickly wrap up here. Just a couple more things I wanted to shout out here before we move on. Is we do have a really cool social contest going on our Twitter and X through Gleam. So go over to our Twitter X account and give us your funniest, most hilarious caption using the image that's below. Not that specific image where it says $50 Steam card, but yeah, just go to the Gleam giveaway, complete all of the actions needed for that, and you'll be put into the pool to see who's the most funniest. And I'll be the judge of that. And as the funniest person in all of PlayFusion, it's really hard ladder to climb whenever you're trying to impress me. Just saying. And then lastly is our Insider Feature Build event. So this Saturday, we have Feature Build 1.1 releasing for our insiders. So our insiders can look forward to participating in a brand new version of Ascendant to try out some new things, give us feedback directly to Benny. So they're able to, just pretty much try the game out before it, technically even releases into the next build, so to say. So in this case, whenever you want to learn more about the Feature Build program as an insider, you're more than welcome to visit our Discord, find our registration link inside of that, and you can actually register for to become an insider as well. And this also gets you not just Feature Build event access, but also weekly events in a variety of ways. We have weekly events every Wednesday and Friday. We partner with some creators all over the internet, and they get to try out the game. So if we need to fill in a spot or two, we could throw you in there. Also, we have community events every other Thursday as well. So those events are just going to be full access to the game. You don't need to hold back. You won't be playing the most, we'll call it, unstable version of Ascendant like the Insider builds will be, because the Insider build ones are going to be pretty much brand spanking new. So those won't work as intended, but they're intended to be designed that way for the player feedback to test out features. But the community events will be on a version of the game that we used during our closed play test, closed beta back in April. So you'll be able to play that, get your hands on in the game, and just have some fun with the community and say hi. But other than that, that's all I have to share with everybody today. Benny, again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you taking some time out of this. It's pretty late for you right now, so I'm pretty sure you're ready for some dinner.
Yeah, thank you. I've already eaten. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Ruined your pie thing.
No, you're good. The outro is ruined now. I don't know what I'm supposed to say
sorry.
after this, man. Well, at least tell us what you ate.
Nothing fun, like rice, tuna, and mushrooms.
Are you going to the gym? Oh my gosh. There's so much gain opportunity. Okay, you know what? That's where we could probably close the stream up right here. We're getting a little bit too deep. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you have any questions that you want to ask us later, you're more than welcome to join us on Twitter and as well as our Discord. We'll check the other places in case you don't use those platforms. But again, just feel free to shoot us questions. And last, but not least, wishlist. We need everyone who hasn't wishlisted and is interested in our game to wishlist our game. That means the absolute world to us. That gets us a really good big push in the algorithm with Steam. Yeah, if you haven't done that, please do so. It would really mean the world to us. Thank you again, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed the rest of y'all's weekend. Peace.
Thank you.
Welcome to the post-apocalyptic party we call Harmony. Let's grab that sweet, sweet biocore. And may the most badass motherfucker win.
Hell yeah! We got the biocore.
What the fuck?
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Launch initiated.
Incoming airstrike!
Bang, bang, boy.
Hey, someone get me a bigger can of bug spray.
Shield activated.
Anyone else want a taste? What the fuck is that?
Burn, motherfuckers.
Rest in pieces, dumbass.
Toxic gas released.
Cough it up, fucker!
Yeah, like they're gonna need some serious therapy after that.